Hello everybody and welcome to Tiger Tales, a place you'll find stories and fanfictions written and read to you by your host, me, Tai Tiger. Welcome back to the Tiger Tales Marvel and DC fanfiction universe, where I have very cleverly combined the two universes together into one massive universe, with lots of different stories unrolling into it, and you can actually listen to all of these stories in chronological order as their chapters go through all the storylines in a playlist found on the channel. You can also find each story's playlist individually as well. Welcome back to Mutants for Hire, the very first story that kickstart off this universe. This is a story where we have 4 mutants who don't like the idea of being too villainous, but don't want to be a caped crusader either. They decided to work for money, and as long as you pay, they'll do. So today, we start off a new arc, and let's dive in and find out exactly what our brothers have been up to. With Mutants for Hire, Chapter 5, Broken Fathers.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a group of men for any task that our tax-paying social justice system won't and cannot handle. Whether it's rescues, scaring someone, murder, maybe someone owes you money, maybe you don't feel safe, then hire these amazing mutants. A team for any mission for any easy fee. Call the number on our screen for the Mutants for Hire now!
Arclos woke up and got dressed. He walked out of his bedroom and met One-Up in the hallway. They could hear Mr. Pocket downstairs talking to 2 gentlemen, their voices unknown to Arclos and One-Up.
Who's your dad talking to?
One-Up asked him. I don't actually know, Arclos replied with a shrug of his shoulders. Then Cardio walked out of the bathroom.
They are FBI operatives working for the mayor. They have a job for us,
Cardio told them. Using your heightened hearing, huh? Nicely done, Arclos grinned. Then Thunderstruck walked out of his room all sluggish.
What's with all the racket, man?
Thunderstruck complained. We got a job from the mayor. Arclos hushed.
Color me intrigued,
Thunderstruck muttered. Then the 4 boys walked down the stairs which led into the living room and kitchen area. Ah, boys, you're up. Good, Mr. Pocket chirped.
Why is there tight suits stood in our house, boss?
One-Up asked. All 4 boys then stood around Mr. Pocket, who was sat on the sofa facing the 2 gentlemen. They have a job for you. Seems like saving all those mutants and his own daughter has made a name for yourselves, placing you into the mayor's good books, Mr. Pocket told them.
If the mayor is hiring us, it must be important,
Cardio stated.
or a way to keep an eye on us.
Thunderstruck snapped. He kinda has a point, Arclos muttered. First off, hello gentlemen. My name is Ray, and this is Cutter. We are FBI agents, and we work for the mayor. Late afternoon, transport vehicle holding 3 Meteor Freak prisoners was heading to a new prison facility. The driver made a pit stop in New York, as scheduled, and here is where they broke free. Within a 10-minute mark, we were alerted, and we had the entire city barricaded closed, with multiple search parties, armed with ways to handle these Meteor Freaks. But the 3 individuals are smart, have hidden themselves very well inside of this city. Now, we don't want to bombard the streets with military equipment, of course. The mayor has the idea of hiring you 4 gentlemen to secure and detain these 3 Meteor Freaks. Killing them is not an option, the FBI agent said. Sorry, Meteor Freak? Arclos piped up.
It is a term to offend those who get genetically altered by the green meteor rocks that came to Earth same day Superman arrived. They got superpowers from the exposure. They are in turn labeled as a subgenre of metahumans,
Cardio explained.
So kryptonite-fueled superpowers are a thing?
Thunderstruck asked.
in a more of a simple term, yes.
Cardio sighed. The mayor will deposit the payment in 3 installments. You'll receive a third of the payment after each Meteor Freak has been contained, the agent known as Cutter explained.
How much are we talking here, exactly?
One-Up asked. 1 million. Mr. Pocket answered.
That's a big fat payment. Like, damn.
Thunderstruck chuckled.
How do we find these meteor freaks?
Cardio asked the agent. We have them tagged, but we only can turn them on every so often. 1, we don't want the batteries running out, but 2, they might actually figure out they're tagged, Ray explained. Carter then opened a briefcase and pulled out 3 folders and a set of pictures, and placed them on the coffee table in front of the 4 mutants and Mr. Pocket. This is Tyler McKnight. He was arrested on the outskirts of Smallville. After trying to abduct his own daughter and killing a farm woman, he was also charged with several cases of murder and has the ability of halokinesis, Carter explained as he pointed to the first mugshot. Hello, the water? Oculus asked confused.
The ability to manipulate glass.
Cardio explained. This is Desiree Atkins, born Alison Sanders, temporarily married to Lex Luthor. She was a high school teacher in Smallville and has the ability to manipulate anyone she kisses by triggering pheromones, Carter explained.
Damn, she is hot.
Thunderstruck hissed cockily.
We're going to have to be careful with this one.
Cardio muttered.
Yeah, you think.
1-Up said, frowning at Thunderstruck. And lastly, we have Graham Garrett, a well-trained assassin with the ability to turn invisible. He was actually marked as dead before Union Day. Turns out he, was still fuzzy on the exact facts. He used his ability to climb the ranks and become well known for his silent and deadly assassin skills. He got arrested for trying to kill some girls who lived in Smallville, Carter explained. A father, a mistress, and an assassin. Sounds like a badly written fan fiction, Oculus mocked.
We are taking this job, right, boss?
1-Up asked. Of course we are, Mr. Pocket replied. We already have the location of McKnight. He was last spotted in a motel just on the outskirts of this district here. We have agents waiting and watching him. That's all he's done is get a burner phone. We assume he's trying to get in contact with his daughter, who is not seen in 10 years, Ray told them.
Sounds like that is our first target.
Thunderstruck said. Let's get ready, boys. Oculus told them, and the 4 boys went back upstairs to get themselves prepared. Mr. Pocket stood up and led the 2 agents down the hall and to the elevator. Do send me those coordinates. I'll send my boys over now, Mr. Pocket told them. The boys all got dressed and prepared for the mission. Cardio read the target report and read it once again.
I must admit, this guy doesn't seem too bad. Just sounds like a desperate father,
Cardio said.
He killed people, dude.
1-Up muttered.
I'm just saying, his daughter is 29 now. She most probably has her own life now. He's just gonna throw a spanner in the works.
Cardio sighed.
We will make sure that does not happen.
Thunderstruck piped up. The 4 boys then walked down the hall and entered the elevator, and it descended down to ground level.
You're gonna let your new friend know where we are up to?
Cardio asked up close with a slight grin. What? Up close said confused.
He's talking about Gambit, bro.
1-Up blurted. Oh, whatever, man. Come on, he ain't even my friend. Just some dude we use for backup sometimes. Up close muttered.
He has a point, man. You 2 are all buddies now.
Thunderstruck chuckled. Why are you all bashing on me? No one has mentioned 1-Up's girlfriend. Up close barred.
Girlfriend? What are you talking about, bro?
1-Up muttered with a raised eyebrow.
He is talking about Jessica.
Thunderstruck grinned.
She is not my girlfriend.
1-Up barked back, his face now turning a slight shade of red.
Sounds pretty defensive to me for someone who doesn't have a girlfriend,
Cardio said with a small grin. Cardio? Bro, did you just see something funny? Close said with a small giggle. The elevator door finally opened and the boys all walked out and walked through the lobby and down a set of stairs to the basement level, which had been turned into a garage. They pitted their car and Cardio climbed into the driver's seat.
Alright boys, get comfy. The motel is on the other side of the city, and we gotta go the long way around.
Cardio called out. Everyone strapped in and Cardio started the car and drove off out of the garage and onto the main road, headed towards the motel.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Felicity Hart, and here we are again having our lunchtime conversation. And what are we going to talk about today? Let's talk about the uprising of our superheroes. You know what? You know my opinion, guys. I quite like this. I absolutely love being able to see these superheroes around us, helping us, supporting us, and coming in when, let's face it, there's no police around. You know why? Because they're down the donut shop getting their coffee and their donuts. And so who has to step in? Other heroes to help us. Now, we'd like our blue uniform to be our heroes, but they're not going to be. So we have the likes of, come on guys, you know some of my favourites here. Robin, you know, the infamous Batman sidekick. Doesn't he just look gorgeous in green? You know that we just love a Robin. And look, let's have a look at this. Let's see how many superheroes we've seen around the streets. There's been reports of Spider-Man. There's been reports of Vixen, Ghost Rider. I mean, come on guys, wouldn't you rather have these people on the streets jumping in and actually helping? Because you know what I've noticed, guys? They only ever get the bad guy. Police, now they'll pull out a gun and they'll shoot you regardless. They don't care if you're guilty or you're innocent. We just love a superhero guy. So I am going to open the lines to you soon, guys, so we can discuss this. But there's just one point that I really want to make before we start talking about this, okay? Now, we have our supervillains, okay? And they play dirty. They're not like your ordinary criminal that goes and robs a bank or their local drugstore, you know. We're talking about real villains here, real bad guys. And the only people I can see that are ready and super fit to be able to deal with these are our real heroes, the likes of Spider-Man and Vixen. Those are the ones that can go and deal with these really, really bad guys. Now, I want to hear your opinion. I want to know what it is you've got to say. Are you on the side of our heroes, our vigilantes? Are you on the side of the police? Do you think they should be gone? Do you think we need more of them? Because you know what I think, guys. I think we need more superheroes and more vigilantes. I think we need them. Because you've got your good, clean guys, that's your superheroes. You've got your vigilantes. They're a little bit dirty, but they get the job done. But who's really going to take care of those villains at the end of the day? Because I can't see your average copper being able to do that. Lines are open, guys. Give me a call.
The boys turned up to the motel and parked the car. Then they climbed out and walked into the motel. They walked up to the receptionist, who looked rather spooked. "Oh, I'm sorry, we have no more rooms available," the receptionist told them. That's fine, I'm actually looking for someone," Aldous told her. "I'm sorry, I don't think I can help," the receptionist gulped. Then suddenly the fire alarm started ringing. It echoed throughout the corridors, and then all of the residents came sprawling out and ran outside. The four boys stood to one side of the hallway, allowing everyone to run past in a panic. They all noticed two police officers as they walked in and barged through the panicked crowd.
I don't say McKnight.
One up barked.
I'm going to assume someone has clocked him and called the police.
Cardio stated. "Yeah, which makes our job a little harder," Oculus sighed.
Those officers are not suited for fighting someone with glass manipulation,
Thunderstruck mentioned. The four boys then ran after the officers. They ran up several set of steps and ran down a dimly lit corridor. They saw the officers barge into the room with guns in hand. The four boys rushed down as fast as they could. One up stopped by the door first. He touched the bronze door handle and his entire body became solid bronze. Then he booted the door open. They all rushed in and found Tyler McKnight with his hand stretched out, with several shards of glass floating around his hand, aiming at the two officers who had their hands up in surrender.
"Easy, man. You don't want to do this,"
Thunderstruck muttered. "Everyone needs to leave," Tyler barked.
We can't do that, I'm afraid.
One up called out. Tyler then looked at the mutants for hire, rather confused, then looked at the two officers. Who are you guys? Tyler asked skittishly. We are the mutants for hire, Arclus responded.
We're here to help.
Cardio told him. Mutants, huh? Tell I am on the wrong side of America, Tyler muttered.
Why don't you lower your hand, and maybe we can help you?
One-Up suggested. I want to see my daughter. That's it. I don't care what else happens, Tyler barked back.
Let's talk about that, okay? Just let him go.
Cardio told them. Tyler looked away, then took a deep breath. Sweat ran down his face. He was obviously that he was exhausted and in a panic. Then he lowered his hands and the glass fell and shattered on the floor. The two officers took a deep breath of relief and lowered their hands. One-Up walked up to the officer.
We got this,
he told them. The two officers then bolted out of the room, leaving the mutants for hire with the meta-human. Now what? Tyler asked, all scared. He started tugging on his sleeve with his index finger and thumb.
You know where the other two are?
Thunderstruck asked him. No, we all ran in different directions, Tyler told them. Boys, can I talk to you alone, please? Arclus asked.
I will watch him,
One-Up offered. Arclus nodded and led Thunderstruck and Cardio back into the corridor, and they all stood there, huddled up close. What do we do here? Arclus asked.
He just wants to see his daughter. I say we find a way to make that happen.
Thunderstruck shrugged.
The government would never allow that to happen.
Cardio snapped.
So screw them. We find her, and we talk to her.
Thunderstruck barked back. Only problem is, she's never wants to see him. She completely blocked him out of her life. She was a kid when this all went down. She grew up with her grandmother. Now that she's a grown woman, she clearly does not want to see her father. Or she would have done it by now, Arclus said.
I say we talk to him and see if we can get him back into a cell with the promise that we try to make contact with her.
Thunderstruck sighed.
We must be careful. Many years in a prison, and the acknowledgement that he himself is the cause of being abandoned and alone, has made his mind broken, fractured, and skittish,
Cardio told them. The other two nodded in response and walked back into the room. Tyler, we have a plan, Arclus said. Tyler turned around and faced the other three. We're going to try and get in contact with your daughter, Arclus told him. Maddie, Tyler gasped.
Please note, he said try. We don't know if she'll want to respond.
Thunderstruck told him. I understand, thank you, Tyler sighed. Tyler took a couple steps forward towards the boys when suddenly a small sound of glass breaking echoed through the room. Tyler then called out in pain as blood exploded from his shoulder. The bullet hit the wall next to Cardio and Thunderstruck. Tyler dropped to one knee and held onto his bleeding shoulder.
Who called the fucking sniper?
One-Up barked. He ran up to the window and saw the sniper across the road on a roof opposite the building. You lied! You're liars! You never wanted to help me, Tyler said.
We did. We promise we didn't know they had a sniper. We aren't with them.
Cardio told him. No, you lied. I have to find Maddie myself, Tyler cried out.
You need to listen to us. We were hired to bring you in, yes, but we also want to help you. We can do both, and you even said you were willing to go back.
Thunderstruck snapped. No, I must go get Maddie myself. No one can be trusted, Tyler grunted, tears now falling down his cheek. Cardio walked up to him and bent down to his level.
I have several years in medical training, at least. Let me tend to your wound.
Cardio said gently. No, Tyler barked. Then he threw both hands out at Cardio and suddenly all the windows exploded and all the shards of glass flew at Cardio. Some of the glass bounced off One-Up's bronze skin and the glass all flew and pulverized Cardio. He flew back and landed on the floor, his entire body pierced with small shards of glass, blood seeping everywhere. Arclus ran to Cardio's aid. Thunderstruck and One-Up ran up at Tyler. Don't get in my way, boys, or else I'll cause another accident, Tyler barked.
That was an accident,
Thunderstruck asked. I didn't want to do that, Tyler muttered. Then he ran past One-Up and jumped out the window. And fell to the floor. He held his hands out and brought them in close together. All the glass on every building around him shattered from all the buildings and all the cars. It all floated around him in a small circle. Platform was made as Tyler landed on it, now floating in the air. The rest of the glass floated around him and spinning around him, kind of like a tornado. Then Tyler started surfing down the street, everyone screaming in fear as they ran away from the glass tornado. "Guys!" Ocklos barked in panic. Thunderstruck and 1-Up both left the window ledge and joined Ocklos, who was knelt by the highly wounded Cardio. "He don't have a heartbeat," Ocklos cried out.
We need his heart to start. Then it will go into panic and start healing himself.
Thunderstruck muttered.
We need some sort of jolt.
1-Up said. Thunderstruck then stood up and looked at 1-Up.
Hit me hard,
he told him. 1-Up stood and looked directly at Thunderstruck.
Don't blame me if I break a rib,
he barked back. He then held up his fist and held it all the way back and swung it hard, hitting Thunderstruck with all his strength. Thunderstruck flew back and smashed into the wall, his chest now glowing purple. He stood up and slowly and limped over to Cardio and took a deep breath. The kinetic energy traversed from his chest into his knuckles. He then knelt down and placed his knuckles on Cardio's chest and released all the kinetic energy in a small burst, all at once. Cardio then bolted up, coughing and grunting in pain. "Bloody hell, boys, that was awesome!" Ocklos cheered.
Brother, can you hear us?
1-Up asked Cardio. Cardio nodded slowly as he was coughing.
You need to speed up your heart, man. Come on!
Thunderstruck barked. "You need to heal, dude," Ocklos told him. Cardio's heart rate then started speeding up and his wounds started to heal. Ocklos and Thunderstruck started pulling out the shards of glass from his body to help the healing process. After a couple of minutes, Cardio was fully healed and back to normal.
Luckily, none of them was too deep.
Cardio sighed.
We need to go after Tyler. Not only is he paranoid, but angry now.
1-Up growled. "Never liked metahumans," Ocklos grunted.
You could say that again.
Thunderstruck muttered. Ocklos and Thunderstruck then helped Cardio back to his feet. The 4 boys all left the motel and ran to the car and climbed in, and the car left the car park and sped down the road. Then they found Tyler floating there on the glass platform, secure in his glass tornado. He then stopped by a huge crosswalk. Several buildings had huge screens on them, and they were all broadcasting the news, which had Tyler all over it. Tyler gazed at himself.
If you're caught drunk driving, make sure you call 14-141-26610. Mutants for Hire will get you out, or your money back guaranteed.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're sorry to interrupt your scheduled programme this evening. I have some dire news for you. We have a tornado heading in from JFK Airport heading towards Queens. The issue is, guys, this is no ordinary tornado. This is Tyler McKnight and his superpowers. And he has created a glass tornado. Guys, this glass tornado rips through absolutely everything you can imagine. Steel, rock, I don't know, you name it. Guys, you just need to get yourself safe. If you're on that path from JFK Airport all the way through to Queens, please get yourself safe. It's going to travel that far and that fast.
Yeah, that's awesome. "Maddie will never want to see me now," Tyler wailed. The 4 boys climbed out of the car. 1-Up pulled out his phone and pressed a few buttons gently as his skin was still made of bronze, and he held it to his ear.
Have you seen the news? Yeah, I need your help. I'll text you the details. Just hurry up, okay?
1-Up said, then he hung up. "What was that about?" Ocklos asked.
I may have a way to stop him for now. We are gonna have to use some force here.
One-Up replied.
Let me try.
Thunderstruck snapped. Then Thunderstruck ran up at full speed, which wasn't at all the fastest feat, but was still fast enough. He bounced off a building wall, then ran at another building, then another. He went back and forth across the streets, hitting the buildings like the buildings were playing ping pong and Thunderstruck was the ball. He then jumped up and dived at Tyler. He flew into the tornado, then released all the built-up kinetic energy at once. Tyler flew off and crashed into the ground, and he slowly climbed to his feet and was floating on a glass platform within a few seconds. He flung his hands forward and a stream of glass flew at Thunderstruck. One-Up ran up and jumped over his brother and landed between them, the glass ricocheting off his back. Both boys nodded at each other. Cardio then came running up and his heart rate increased, and he grabbed a car door, ripped it off the car and spun it around and threw it at Tyler. Tyler floated slightly to one side, dodging the attack. Oculus then ran up to the glass tornado, his eyes turning yellow, making his entire body ghost-like. He then phased through it, landing on the other side of the glass underneath Tyler. His entire body then turned back to normal. His eyes then turned red, and he jumped up high, launching himself towards Tyler, directly up. Tyler noticed Oculus beneath him. He flicked his hands and then pulled them in close, and shards of glass started flying back and forth in the tornado. 2 shards caught Oculus, cutting his arm and side. He dropped to the floor, grunted as he landed. His eyes turned back to yellow. Once more, he became ghost-like, and he jumped back through the tornado, landing next to his brothers. How the fuck do we do this? Oculus snapped.
Maybe another approach, like from the top or something.
Cardio suggested.
Or I could talk to him.
A female's voice called out. The 4 boys turned around to see Maddie Van Horn stood there. Tyler's daughter stood before them. The 4 boys all ran up to her. Maddie? Oculus questioned.
The one and only.
Maddie said awkwardly.
How did you find her?
Thunderstruck asked One-Up.
I'll explain after.
One-Up replied. He then walked up to Maddie.
Talk to your father. Get him on the ground, we can do the rest.
One-Up commanded. Maddie nodded in response. Then she walked up to her father, who clocked her. Maddie? Maddie, is that you? Tyler called out.
Hey, Dad, it's okay. Come down here so we can talk. No need to hurt anyone else.
Maddie yelled back. Tyler floated down to the ground, the platform of glass crumbling underneath him. The tornado stopped and all dropped to the floor, the glass raining down around them, shattering into pieces. Tyler walked up to Maddie. Tears filled his eyes. Then he placed one hand on his daughter's face, a face he had not seen in 10 years. A face he almost didn't recognize, as adulthood clearly had formed around his baby girl's face. Oh my baby girl, Tyler muttered.
You need to stop, Dad.
Maddie snapped. But baby, I just wanted to see you, Tyler gasped.
This is not how you do it, Dad. I thought you learned that from last time.
Matty muttered. I did, I promised. I've changed. I promise. Tyler barked, tears rolling down his cheeks.
Then prove it.
Matty barked bluntly. Okay, how do I prove myself to you? Tyler asked desperately.
Don't fight back.
Maddie replied. Then she took a few steps back. What does that mean? Tyler asked. Then suddenly, One-Up landed behind Tyler and wrapped his muscular arms around the scrawny man and held on tight. Thunderstruck landed between Tyler and Maddie and placed his palms on Tyler's temples and then released a small amount of kinetic energy, and Tyler's eyes rolled inside of his skull. His entire body went limp. Cardio walked up and pulled a pair of meta-powered dampening handcuffs and placed them on Tyler McKnight. He was no longer a threat. One-Up then placed Tyler down, and the 4 mutants gathered around Maddie. Thank you for helping us, Maddie, Oculus said to her.
You're welcome, Oculus. Any friend of One-Up is a friend of mine.
Maddie replied.
Wait, how did you know his name? And how do you know One-Up?
Thunderstruck asked.
I believe there is more to this young lady than we are aware of.
Cardio grinned. Maddie grinned, and then small little white octagons shimmered through her skin, and Maddie shapeshifted back into Jessica, the mayor's daughter.
Surprise!
Jessica cheered.
You called your girlfriend?
Thunderstruck asked One-Up judgmentally.
I didn't see you guys coming up with a plan.
One-Up barked. Whoa, hey, thanks, Jessica. You come in handy. Close grinned.
No problem.
Jessica smiled back.
You seem to have adapted to your new mutation quite well.
Cardio stated.
I have to thank One-Up for that. He's been helping me.
Jessica explained.
Helping you, has he?
Thunderstruck replied, nudging his elbow into One-Up. One-Up's body then turned back to normal.
Come on, we are better metahuman back in a cell.
One-Up muttered. Thunderstruck looked down at the ground, looking at the shattered glass that had fallen everywhere. He took a big, deep breath and sighed. A frown painted all over his face. The fight against Tyler, a desperate father, had got him thinking. He then looked at his three brothers.
I actually have to go do something. Can you guys handle this?
Thunderstruck asked them.
Of course we can, brother.
Cardi replied. Yo, dude, everything okay? Arclos asked.
Yeah, family stuff. That's all.
Thunderstruck replied. Then he walked away, leaving his brothers to do the tidying up.
Hey, listener. This is a not paid for product placement for the Zero to Hero podcast.
What do you
If
mean
you
not
definitely
paid?
like what you're listening to now, come on over to the Zero to Hero podcast.
Lights on. Just
Anywhere you want to be able to find your podcast
the
at,
trash bills.
like
due
Apple
next week.
Podcasts,
What the-
Spotify, Amazon Podcasts,
How the
and
hell
Google
am I gonna get
Podcasts,
my
which
God
still a little
boys in
weird.
for the next 2 weeks? All
Come
the
on over
pre-orders just
and
had to
enjoy
fucking
yourself
drop.
and listen to Billy and myself bicker, argue, and, well,
Speaking of the
fight
dog,
about a lot of
no
things,
goddamn
as
dog
we are the
for
bulk
the
and
next
skull of
2 weeks.
podcasting.
How the hell am I
Good
going to
luck
get
out there
money
and
for-
welcome back to the show.
Later that evening, Thunderstruck climbed out to the taxi and passed the driver some money. He then walked up to the bungalow as the taxi drove off. The first bungalow on the row of bungalows, and he knocked on the door. After a minute, an older lady opened the door and glared at Thunderstruck, who straightened his posture up as his gaze fell upon the older woman.
Hello, Mother.
Thunderstruck said roughly.
No, you can't see him.
His mother responded.
Please, just give me 5 minutes.
Thunderstruck pleaded.
Fine, but only 5 minutes. I have to bath him.
His mother barked. Thunderstruck was then led into the living room, a room he spent many hours playing, watching TV, drawing, and wondering about life. He saw the 4-year-old boy sat on the floor, crashing a toy fire truck into the figure of the Hulk. He had a figure of Batman sprawled upside down on the floor as well. He was knelt on one knee, sat on his other foot, his soft black hair gently placed over his eyes, reflecting the sun perfectly. His eyes was full of wonder, and imagination ran through his mind. Thunderstruck walked up to the 4-year-old boy, and he sat on the floor.
Hey, buddy.
Thunderstruck said sweetly to the boy. His mother hovered over them, watching. Her eyes burnt into Thunderstruck's head like hot knife went through butter.
So, have you spoken to her?
His mother asked bluntly.
If you're talking about Jordan, no, I haven't. Not since she moved back to LA.
Thunderstruck replied without moving his gaze from the child. He picked up a toy car and started joining in with the game the boy was playing.
What? No communication for 4 years? You expect me to believe that?
His mother barked back.
I am not having this argument with you again. She moved back to LA and cut all contact. She didn't want to be his mother. She was scared, only 18 herself, and I had just told her that I was a mutant.
Thunderstruck snapped.
Do not use that word. That's why he's here. A runaway mother and a broken father.
His mother huffed.
I am not broken. I am just different.
Thunderstruck muttered.
You're one of those things. Do you even have a life? Do you even have a job, Levi?
His mother asked.
Yes, I do actually. I make good money using my powers, and I am proving to my son that you can be yourself and still have a future.
Thunderstruck barked.
Some future you have. This is why I have custody of Grayson.
His mother grunted, flailing her one fist around.
That won't last forever.
Thunderstruck snapped. He then jumped to his feet, bent down and kissed his son on the head, and then he looked at his mother with a glare.
Coming here was a mistake.
Thunderstruck muttered to himself. Then he started to walk away.
You make this hard, Levi, not me.
His mother growled as Thunderstruck walked away and left the bungalow. He then walked up to the porch, where Grayson then burst through the door.
Wait!
The boy yelled. Thunderstruck turned around and knelt down, and the boy jumped into his arms and held onto his father tightly. He then let go and placed his small hands on his father's face.
I love you, Daddy!
The boy said.
I love you, kiddo.
Thunderstruck smiled at his son, who just sat there grinning back. And there you have it, guys. Mutants for Hire, Chapter 5. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this chapter. Let's run down the voice cast. Of course, we have One Up, voiced by Jay. We have Thunderstruck, voiced by Austin. And we have Cardia, voiced by Ethan. We are the Mutants for Hire. And then, of course, Jessica was voiced by my good friend Jordan. I, of course, voiced my own characters, Mr. Pocket, Oculus, and Twilight McKnight. Twilight McKnight isn't my character, but I voiced him anyway. That being said, make sure you go check out everyone on Instagram and on TikTok. And of course, a big shout out to Nerd Through Comics podcast, who is our association to a lot of the bigger projects on the channel. And he, Mark, who owns Nerd Through Comics, is hosting Mutants for Hire on there too. So if you're actually listening to this on Nerds Through Comics, come to the channel, subscribe, and come say hi. And let me know that Nerds Through Comics sent you here. Then, of course, a big shout out to my Parabatai, Cosplay Dude 637, who has Power Rangers Universe 19 and Cosplay Dude Storytime with Cosplay Dude 637. Two amazing podcasts, lots of different stories, so you might want to go check them out if you like anything on this channel. We're on an association with Zero to Hero podcast, a place where Billy and Jim, the Balkan Scholar of Podcasting, talk about all different types of stuff, Power Rangers, other fandoms. They interview people. It's an amazing podcast. You should go check it out. With that being said, don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you're new, and I shall see you guys really, really soon.